Hi, Steve and Caleb from Brownells here. Today we have a special guest. We have Bobby Tyler from Tyler's Gun Works. Welcome aboard, Bobby.
Glad to be here.
Yep. Welcome back.
Pleasure to be with you guys today.
So, Bobby, what the heck is new at Tyler Gun Works?
You know, we're staying pretty busy. There's quite a bit new.
Well,
There's a bunch of different ways to go with this.
okay. Well, first off, revolvers. When we think of Tyler Gun Works, we think of revolvers.
Oh yeah.
So, how's the revolver business?
Revolvers are busy. So we're taking another look at things on this, trying to help more people to try to be that fix
Right,
for that industry problem.
right.
Revolvers are not very plentiful right now. And so what we are finding is that we need to take and do more with what we actually have.
Okay,
So what we've started doing is when we get a run of Vaqueros, Blackhawks, Bisley Blackhawks, whatever it is that we get, we'll take that and we'll say, okay, we need to do our action job. We'll do an accuracy package. Most all of them will throw a belt mount and base pin in them.
right.
We decide whether they need grips or not. And then they fall into the category of a semi-custom gun.
Okay, okay. Your shop has so many capabilities. I mean, you can do grips, you can do metal, you can make parts. How do you decide where to draw the line? I mean,
Good question.
engraving too. I mean,
It's a great
you do it all.
question. So when we put our shingle up, we were a metal finishing company. And then somebody said, well, we need this. I thought, well, you know what? I think I can do that. And it gets to a point where you just can't do it anymore.
Right.
But
Right.
right now, we have specialized in a few different areas, and we try to do the best at what we can at that.
Okay.
My philosophy is if you can get it better and cheaper somewhere else, that's what you should do. So, I mean, that's the American way, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, there's some definitely some good classic American gunsmithing going on at Tyler Gun Works, and that's what we love to see.
So whether it's grips, whether it's sights, we use a lot of the Bowen rears on the Blackhawks. Now that doesn't mean that the Ruger rears are not good. It's just what we prefer.
Yeah. I've got about half and half. I like them both.
On front sights, I go several different directions. We have the Fermin Garza front sights.
Mm-hmm.
We also use the Freedom Arms bases
Those are nice.
with the interchangeable blades.
yeah.
You can't go wrong.
No.
Absolutely.
And so, as far as the action goes, that's where you start. Because to get a good clean shot off and a good clean group consistently, you've got to have a good clean trigger break. If you don't have that consistently every time, you're just not going to be where we need to be. So everything gets action job. Most everything gets accuracy package. That's where we set the cylinder gap, crown the barrel, align, that's where we do all of the accuracy work at that point.
Right.
So revolvers are hot. Revolvers are not plentiful,
Right.
but we're doing our best.
Right. But to draw the line where you put in a certain amount of work and you can get the gun out in a certain amount of time to where you have inventory. That's the thing. That's the thing you seem to be doing really well, is where you've got a good inventory built up, but yet you got a semi-custom gun all ready to go.
Well, that is an issue, because inventory, that if you can't get the gun, you can't build. If you don't have a base gun, you can't build a custom.
Right. Right.
Yep. It's as
But
simple
we're
as
used
that.
to waiting for years for a custom gun.
That's why we're trying to do where we have posted on our website a single action revolver, and maybe this revolver right here, we'll have it as a 45 Blackhawk with ram's horn, maybe the same revolver listed with stag grips, maybe the same revolver with Turkish walnut. We'll have it with and without the front sight, and they'll all have the nuts and bolts, so they'll all have the action job at least.
You do have a good variety of grip materials too. I mean, really good.
Well, the grip and the trigger are two of the most important things. You've got grips, triggers, and sights, and they're not in that order.
Yeah.
You talk to 10 different people and you might put them in 10 different orders.
Right. And for some people, the barrel crown and adjusting the gap is just kind of an afterthought. They don't think it's that important. But we've seen the results. We know what the difference is.
You start talking hunting, velocities, the pressure that's lost out of it between a 12,000 cylinder gap and a 4,000 cylinder gap, and that's where that discussion gets pretty important.
Sure.
You know, shooting paper, we can have an argument of where we need to go with that, but when a guy works hard for his dollars and he's going to go out and shoot paper and he doesn't need to spend that extra money on an accuracy package, I'll have that discussion any day.
Sure.
Yeah.
So-
And having a good throat on the back end of that barrel, as opposed to a factory cut with a few little rings
Right.
left in it,
Right.
That makes a big difference, especially for a cast bullet shooter.
For sure.
And I imagine a lot of your customers are cast bullet shooters.
I would say upwards of 80%, maybe higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you think of a real 6-shooter like that or a 5-shooter, you're shooting heavy cast bullets a lot of times. So that's the revolvers, but you do long guns too.
We do. Primarily, our long guns will be sights. We use a lot of the Skinner sights, lever guns.
Great sights.
A lot of our long gun activity is actually not repair. A lot of our long gun activity is somebody calling saying, hey, I can't find a Winchester 71. I'm
Right.
looking for a Browning 78. I need a Ruger #1 and 22 Hornet.
Don't we all?
Well, my dad had a 94 22 Magnum when I was a kid, and my brother
yeah.
got it, so now I need one. You know, these are the kind of calls.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, we do a lot with long guns, but another thing that's new at Tyler Gun Works, and I don't know that it's really new, it's just growing, is we keep a large inventory of used firearms. Long guns, short guns, skinny ones, fat ones, all of
Yep.
them.
Yep. And if you've gone to a local gun shop lately, you know how hard it is to find a used gun. A nice old used gun, a Smith & Wesson or a Winchester or something like that.
Yeah, and so let's talk about something else here. We're talking about inventory. Tyler Gunworks doesn't have an actual storefront. You can't walk in there and browse it, but you do have a website.
We do.
Tell us a little bit more about the website.
So you go to www.tylergunworks.com and go to the store.
Which I've done many times.
Once you get to the store, yeah,
We've
you
all browsed
keep
it.
doing that. You're doing good. So when you get to the store, you click on firearms, TGW apparel, or grips. There's different categories.
Sure.
But when you go into firearms, you can go in and you can click pistols, revolvers, shotguns, rifles, and you just take time and browse through, because what we've done is, and I took a weekend and put about 1,000 miles on, and I went to about 4 different gun shows. I was appalled. I'd walk in there and find a standard firearm that I knew the price of, and it would be double.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
that's unfortunate.
Because it's rare in that venue.
Right,
It's
right.
rare.
So where I came from and my roots and the way we became doing what we're doing is being fair with people. And so if I can't send it home with somebody where it's a blessing to them, then I shouldn't send it home with them.
Right.
And they shouldn't buy it. So what we've done is we've gathered a large collection. We probably have over 500 guns in inventory to browse through our website. And I'm not talking about new ARs, new Glocks. I'm talking about good, used, vintage, the kind that what I would want to buy at a gun show.
Steel and walnut.
Yeah.
A lot of that.
I mean, you can get ARs and Glocks anywhere, but this
Target
kind of
22s. I mean, what I do is I get calls from collections, and I go in and I bid them at a fair price, where obviously I make some money,
stuff. Sure.
but the people that I buy them from get what they're worth.
Right.
And so I'm still able to sell them at a fair price. And so anyway, long story short, you can go to the website. You can go through the whole process there. You can pay out online with a credit card, or you can go into a category that says phone order. Say you want to mail me a check. I take good checks all the time.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so you want to mail me a check, you click phone order, mail a check, call in. You've got a question, but you're afraid it's going to get bought before the weekend's over.
Yeah.
Call me. My phone rings a lot. I'm pretty busy, but we still try to answer our phone and be there for everybody anytime we can.
Yeah, and not to mention if you see something on the site you want, but you want a little extra something done to it.
That's correct.
That can be done.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So
Does that happen a lot?
it happens. It actually happened this morning.
Uh-huh.
There
So
you go.
I had a guy call in and he said, "Hey, I want one of those flat tops." I said, "Well, it's the last one. You might ought to buy it because I'm out of the office, obviously."
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, I want a narrow front sight on it." I said, "Done."
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
It's that easy.
you know, he knew what he wanted, and Fermin will have one made by the end of the week.
That's a pretty unique ordering process compared to other online, I guess you can call them gun stores.
Yeah.
Can't do that anywhere.
Well, what we found is that if we had a retail store and people coming in, taking the time to give them what they deserve when they come in and showing them and browsing and the time that it takes to do that, we weren't getting any work done.
Right.
And so we
That's
went
true.
to the online store, which I'm not a online Amazon shopper by heart, but I'm trying to do the best for my family and the best for our customers.
Absolutely. There's a lot to be said for that.
So
Yeah. By the way, that narrow front sight option, that is a big deal as you get older. That actually works. So if you got a 6-gun or something, you're not shooting as well as you used to, consider narrowing down that front sight blade. I know somebody can do it.
Yeah, even if you still have young guys, it's still a good upgrade.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much a lot of what we're doing right now. And so check out our grips, check out our inventory, check out our semi-customs, and if there's something else that we can do to help you, let us know.
Yeah, that sounds great. And join us soon here. We're going to continue doing some more videos going into a little bit more detail on what Tyler Gunworks has to offer now and in the near future. So if you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them down below. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.